Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. I'm Christy Shive, and this morning we're visiting with Laura Weddle. She's an extension specialist for farm stress and rural mental health for the University of Kentucky. Can you tell us a little bit about what seasonal affective disorder is?
Yes. So, for the purpose of the show, I'm going to call it SAD. That's kind of the
Mm.
acronym for that, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. It's a type of depression that correlates with changes in seasons. It usually begins and ends at the same time every year. So, if you experience it, it might be something that you notice that, like, 1 month of the year or 2 months of the year, you feel a certain way. I find this particular disorder really interesting because I think it's easy to relate to. And I think a lot of people sometimes brush it off as, oh, I've just got the winter blues, or maybe I'm in a seasonal funk. But it's really important to stay on top of those symptoms and those feelings so they don't escalate into a worsening depression. Um, there's different, I think, reasons for why they think SAD occurs, but they don't know a specific cause or a reason. So that's unknown. But it's mostly attributed to our circadian rhythm or our biological clocks, because our bodies produce a lot of neurochemicals and hormones like serotonin and melatonin, and their production can change in relation to the sunlight. So it's really interesting how it all comes together. So it's most prevalent from fall to winter. That's when I think, the majority of the population that experiences SAD say that they experience it. But those that experience SAD can really have it during any season. It's just a consistent occurrence. So some are going to develop it into fall and winter. And then, interestingly enough, there are individuals who experience it in spring through summer. To me, that is very interesting. So it can really occur at any season. It's just going to be a consistent time every year that you kind of feel that way.
All right, Laura, can you walk us through some of the symptoms and signs of SAD?
So, even more interesting, and I said this is an interesting disorder just because it's so unique. The symptoms for fall and winter SAD and spring and summer SAD, some of them overlap and then some are completely different. So, first, I'll talk about the fall and winter SAD. Sometimes it's called the winter depression or the winter blues. So, during this time, individuals might have some oversleeping, changes in their appetite, craving foods that are high in carbohydrates. You feel like you're hibernating, and included in that, then that develops into some weight gain. There might be some tiredness or low energy or lack of interest in certain activities that just kind of continues throughout that season. And then for spring and summer SAD, it's kind of the opposite. Some of it's kind of the opposite. So you might have trouble sleeping, insomnia instead of the oversleeping,
Mm.
poor appetite, weight loss, agitation or anxiety, and then increased irritability. So those are some things that can happen in spring and summer. So it's just really important to stay in tune with how you feel at a specific time every year. And if that kind of veers off course of what is normal for you, that might be a time to seek some assistance. So it's always good to speak to your health provider, whether that's your nurse practitioner, your physician, or if you have a therapist. If you notice any changes in your mood or your feelings, any of those symptoms or anything that's just different or off, you sometimes know when something has changed for you, and it's important to recognize that and then escalate that to getting some assistance. There are, several different things that they can do to treat SAD. Some of that is light therapy, and that includes just getting outside or using a special light therapy lamp. It can be some exercise. Some providers might use medication or vitamin D. So there's a lot of different treatment possibilities. We're working to make sure that it doesn't escalate to a worsening depression. So if you want more information on SAD or seasonal affective disorder, go to your nearest extension office and they can provide you with some information. But I always want to stress that if anyone's feeling a mental health crisis, you or yourself or someone that you can always call or text 988, and that is the Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Thank you so much, Laura. Such great information. Thank you for joining us today on the Farm and Home Show, and we'll see you next time.